My name is Ira Miles. I'm the Director of Marketing and Admissions at the Leysin American School in Leysin, Switzerland. I also am the market representative for all of Japan.
I'm Satoka. I'm from Tokyo, and I'm a senior, and I'm 19 years old.
So LAS is in the southwest part of Switzerland. We're located just above Lake Geneva on a mountaintop and only 90 minutes from the Geneva airport. Switzerland is a magical place in and of itself. During your time here, you'll have access to places like Zermatt or Zurich. As different as those places are, the real magic of our location is the access to other cultures internationally. We border Germany, Austria, we border Italy, and we border France. And each of those places has a different experience with many opportunities that our students take advantage of. Probably one of my best memories in my first 3 years at LAS is chaperoning the 9th grade class on their spring cultural trip to Cinque Terre. It was something we experienced together as student and teacher. It was just magical. And again, this is an opportunity I can't imagine exists too many other places. And to think that these students have 2 of these kinds of trips every year, and that's every year of their time at LAS. I mean, that's ultimately 12 trips that just bond students to each other, to the school, to their teachers, and give them access to a myriad of different cultural experiences that most of us don't have in our own country.
My favorite part of Switzerland is definitely climates and the sceneries, especially like being in Switzerland, surrounded by a lot of mountains. It's really beautiful studying here.
So one of the differences between LAS and most other Swiss schools, especially our partner schools through Swiss Learning, is that we're 100% boarding. A lot of times when you hear statistics, as an example, that a school is 40% of this nationality or 10% of this nationality, that ratio doubles after the school hours when day students go home, which is fine. It's just very different than what we have. Our students learn together, they live in dorms together, they get bored and upset together, they get excited and experience joy together. It has a camaraderie that is not available in other schools. And it's not fake, their life every day experiences a myriad of emotions and obstacles and opportunities that they navigate together. And in many ways, as much as we try to be great parents and mentors to the students, I think the strongest relationship that our school has and fosters is the one that the students develop with each other. And that happens through this sort of third culture kid that we talk about, where my best friend in high school was from Thailand, or was from Canada, or was from Norway. Just opportunities again that are not available in many other places. And so the international community is one that I think students are going to need, because it'll give them perspective on what the world is becoming. Since the advent of the internet and additional technology, it's a global economy. And our students are going to work one day, not just in their own culture, but around the world. And so our students also gain a real competitive advantage in their life after LAS. So obviously the experience of teachers is really an important aspect of delivering education. Another piece I like about that is the experience our teachers have is also quite diverse. Having teachers from, North America and Europe, et cetera, teaching styles are also brought here, and students have access to that diversity of education. Most of our teachers are also involved in the residential life program. So access to teachers extends far beyond just the classroom or office hours. It's being available in the dormitory. It's being available during activity, just a casual conversation. And a lot of times we use the term dorm parent, for these folks when they're not in the classroom. And I think the reason that this is important is I'm sure a lot of us who are parents have had that experience where they're talking to a teacher at our child's, day school, And we feel that there's an aspect of our child's personality that maybe the teacher doesn't understand. They're having a little bit of trouble at home. They're frustrated naturally in parts of their growth. Our students don't have to worry about that. The teacher understands what's happening at athletics. The teacher understands what's happening in the dormitory. The teacher understands, obviously, what's happening in the classroom. But when they have access to understanding the full child, the whole child, they have access to understanding that right now, as an example, maybe the fact that the homework isn't done isn't the main point. Maybe it's that what that student is doing is navigating, I don't know, let's say a relationship with a roommate that might not be in an ideal spot. And that teacher can play a role in solving the growth of the whole child, teach them how to solve the issue with the roommate, and then allow them some freedom to go back and do the work that needed to be done. So the experience of the teachers is being able to read not just the classroom, but being able to read the child. ELA, for me, particularly for our younger students, is everything. Many of our students that come from Japan, as an example, have high university aspirations, but are not necessarily language ready for the competitive programs that garner access to those universities, i.e. AP and IB. So students who work hard and develop that English language ability, there is a corresponding success rate for them when they get to the later years and take those AP classes or those IB classes or even just the U.S. high school diploma. There's a correlation between the work that's done now in the English language, learning. And so we're very supportive because not every student comes in at the same level. And so there's sort of a soft landing in our ELA program, but there's also a reality that a certain level of English is necessary to be successful, and that success is relative to the goal of the individual student. So again, it's very individualized. It recognizes that not all students are coming to us at the same level of English preparation, and that each student is going to need maybe a little bit of a different path to be successful. But ultimately, this is on the student's ability to engage in the community, engage in our activities, and to practice the tools that they learn in ELA.
The biggest challenge after I came here was actually the language. So when I came here, my English wasn't that good. Like, I only could speak some general conversations, like, how are you? Or like, how old are you? That kind of really small, easy English. I only knew like a few words. So it was really hard for me to even understand class or like talk to dorm head. Like, it was actually like really hard to tell what I really wanted to say. But I could overcome it by interacting with people, actually. I knew that like it was really hard, but like I started from like talking to my roommate or my classmates who are like, I used to be in ESL, so everyone was like really similar to me. So like I didn't have to be really perfect, but like by talking to them, I definitely could improve my English.
I think the strongest piece of the middle school program is that our students have access to a myriad of academic opportunities. So no matter where our middle school students are coming from, if their English is perfect or their English is quite new, they have access to the classes that are going to help them take the next step. So whether your English is absent and you need 2 ELA classes, or whether you're a native speaker and you need to focus on a more challenging science curriculum, both those students can find success in our middle school. So there's a diversity there of student, there's a diversity of learner, and we have the ability to provide for each of those students in a way that will give them, first and foremost, support during a difficult transition, life transition to boarding school, and secondly, also provide them with the challenge they need to grow and find self-worth. LAS at the high school level, through LASER, our LAS Educational Research Center, has a real commitment to providing not just strength in traditional educational curriculum such as the AP and the IB, but also to developing skill based learning through programs like EDGE. Because of this, the electives as well as the core curriculum of middle school is really just giving middle school students the first taste of how their high school life at LAS in terms of growth will be different from whatever educational community they're coming from. So you're not just throwing students into the deep end saying, hey, here, learn differently. What you're doing is you're giving them an opportunity to learn English, to be comfortable with the culture, and also just get a little peek at what learning's going to be like at the high school level so that we can better ensure their success as they work towards their university goals. So in LAS, the 9th and 10th grade are opportunities to fail, and fail in a safe place. The LAS EDGE teachers often refer to the phrase to fail forward. And what that means is essentially we have students who are tackling education, often for the first time without the resources of their parents or their tutors or their home life. We have students that are engaging in social settings that they're navigating newly and are challenging at times. In reality, they're birds leaving the nest. And so we can expect them to falter. And so that part of our 9th and 10th grade at LAS is to help them falter in a way in which they grow. I think certainly for our competitive students, the academic outcome of 9th and 10th grade is integral. That doesn't change in any school. But I think for LAS, our main areas of growth are in the individual developing a sense of self, developing a sense of independence, and a sense of responsibility. Whether that's just, learning to take notes in class and to study maybe a little more fervently, or it's just getting their laundry done, independent of whatever, is the situation at home. Somebody's going to have some growth somewhere. And 9th and 10th grade is a really safe and supportive place to have that growth, whether it's in the classroom or in the dorm.